I think the United States tried to be quite clear to Ukraine, actually, and the characterization that the United States led Ukraine down the garden path is not one that's widely accepted here in Washington. It may be current in New Delhi, and I understand the logic, but it's not one that's widely accepted here. The view here is that the United States was clear to both Russia and Ukraine about the limits of what the United States was willing and able to do. And I think that one should be clear about the distinctions between the nature of the relationship that the United States has with Ukraine and, say, the nature of the relationship that the United States has with its actual treaty allies. And that has always been clear. And I think the Biden administration also has signaled in a very effective way when it began to see the threat being posed by the accumulation of Putin's war machine on Ukraine's borders, and was very forthright of sharing that information with the world in ways that were actually quite surprising and troubling, but turned out to be true. So I wouldn't accept the characterization first that the United States was unclear about its position or about the likely consequences of what was unfolding. The second point, though, is that I think there's I would say, unfounded sense in New Delhi that somehow the Biden administration is not tough on China, is not looking for ways to compete with China. In fact, many critics here in Washington perceive that the Biden administration has picked up on some of the toughest aspects of the previous Trump administration, and then has added to them a number of efforts that are intended to make the US approach in the region and the world more effective, namely by trying to work with partners, particularly treaty allies, which the Trump administration was not terribly good at. In fact, was frequently criticizing our alliances, but also to work with partners, strategic partners like India. And so I'd say the Biden administration has put a tremendous amount of emphasis on a closer relationship with India, in a sense, a long-term and hopefully permanent strategic partnership with India, in ways that I would have anticipated would give more confidence to Indian audiences. And so I think that it's, to me as an analyst, fascinating to see the divergence between the common perspective here in Washington and the way that you've characterized the common perspective in New Delhi. There is a huge gap there.